Hello. In this talk, I will talk about the process of statistical data analysis. Because in this course, we're going to learn some statistical models to analyze our data. But in general, what is the process of statistical data analysis? So outline, what is statistical data analysis? Process of statistical data analysis: univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and a multivariate analysis. Statistical data analysis is the process of extracting useful information from data by using statistical methods. Okay, so now through studies and data collections, now you have a data set. Okay, but without analyzing it, it's just a data set, which is useless to us. What is useful is the information, the valuable information that is in the data. So how do we get that information? How do we get it out of the data? That's the data analysis. Okay, so here this graph says analyze data. Scientists compile data into charts and graphs. So you summarize the data, and this helps make sense of the information taken from the experiment. So charts and graphs are really very simple data analysis outputs. And statistical data analysis is important in the hierarchy of human knowledge acquisition process. So here's the pyramid. You have noise, all the things going on in the universe. Many are just noises. Okay. Then you have data. You may have structured and unstructured data, so some form of structure in the data. And from the data, you extract information, and from those information, you build knowledge, which is the belief or some accumulated knowledge. And with the growth of knowledge, you get a meta-knowledge, and then from meta-knowledge, you have wisdom of doing things. Okay, so how to extract information out of data is data analysis, statistical data analysis. And the process of statistical data analysis can be roughly divided as following steps. One is data preparation, data analysis, and data reporting. So before you actually analyze data, you really need to prepare your data. And after you analyze your data, you really need to think about how do you report your analysis results. Okay. And in general, the steps of data analysis usually contains univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, and a multivariate analysis. So univariate means one variable, so you analyze the variable one at a time. Okay. And bivariate means two variables, so you start to look into relationships, but two variables at a time. And then multivariate means several variables. Now you start to look into the complex relationship between multiple variables. So a statistical data analysis process usually have these three steps: univariate, bivariate, and a multivariate. So univariate analysis is really we call descriptive statistics for one variable at a time. Its aim is to describe the sample characteristics and to track data. So if we run univariate analysis, we just get all the descriptive statistics of each and every variable, and then that gives us some idea about what the samples look like. For example, the average age, the proportion of males versus females, education levels, income levels, etc., etc. Okay, so after univariate analysis, we immediately get some sense about what this study sample is like. And examples of univariate analysis descriptive statistics are like box plots, mean standard deviations, etc. Like in this graph, this is a SAS output. You have the box plot, and you have the moments like the sample size, the mean standard deviation, skewness, coefficient of variation, and stuff like that. Okay, so immediately you will learn a lot about the sample and the data, and you can also see outliers and distribution, whether it's skewed or approximately normally distributed. The bivariate analysis starts to explore a relationship between two variables at a time. So it's a start to look into relationship, but it's like the first step. Okay, can be used for generating hypotheses. So here, you just look at two variables at a time. So you will find some trends, some patterns, but these trends and patterns may change when you take into account of additional variables. So it's mostly for observing and then generating hypotheses. So some example of bivariate analysis like crosstab, you can build a table, look into the relationship between two variables. You can calculate correlation between two variables. You can draw a scatter plot, to visualize the relationship between two random variables. And then you have the multivariate statistics really studies the relationship among two or more random variables. And multivariate statistics can model the complex underlying data generating process much better. So this is what we want to learn, because multivariate statistics can provide us a model that's much closer to the real world processes. Okay, an example of the output from a multivariate analysis is shown on this slide, table 4. So this is a output from univariate and multiple linear regression models. So you can see the covariates or the predictors. You have the rice consumption, age, sex, race, ethnicity, BMI, serum coating, urinary coating, water source, etc. You have multiple predictors there, and then they presented a univariate statistic in the one column, and then multilinear regression analysis in the second column. Okay, and the multilinear regression outputs are the results that, like the effect of age, effect of rice consumption on the outcome after you take into account of all the influence from other factors such as age and sex and race, ethnicity. So it's a more complete picture compared to just look at the bivariate analysis. Okay. So examples of multivariate statistics such as multiple linear regression is a kind of regression model, and also factor analysis. So that's kind of a description of the underlying data structure.